USF at Florida is the game we did not preview, but we are going to talk about because USF pulls off a stunner in the Swamp. Maybe not a stunner, depending on who you ask. Some people were high on USF going in this game.
It was a stunner. The spread was 18.5.
Sure. This would be a field rush opportunity if it was at home. They win 18-16. They go toe-to-toe with a very talented Florida squad. Like you said, that it was 18.5. People did not see this coming. Some Florida trends, issues reared their head in this game. A lot of penalties. They had 11 penalties, none bigger than the spitting on the player on their final drive to give USF a free 15 yards. You can't do that.
I feel like I haven't seen spitting in football like very often, and now I've seen it twice in 2 days. That
happened a few times last year.
Yeah,
in the NFL.
You get a couple. Have 2 back-to-back, like be that in the. That's a pretty big deal. They struggled on third downs. They completed like 30% of their third downs or something around there, so not good in that regard. Lagway was fine. He only had a 7.9 ADOT, which is bizarre for me because if you're a team like Florida with the weapons you have and the quarterback you have, to just consistently be throwing these screen passes and stuff, and DJ Lagway's best trait and where he grades out best as a passer at this point in his career is his deep ball. And so for you to stay conservative is a little confusing and concerning to me. It highlights what Andrew said in the chat and what he said on it when we did the Florida preview about this team is he doesn't trust the offensive play calling, and he said it was bad last night, and I agree. But big win for South Florida, not Florida State. Y'all's thoughts on this game?
Now South Florida has the best resume through 2 weeks. Who did they beat last week?
Boise State.
Boise State, yeah. A huge win over them, the Broncos, and then the win yesterday in the Swamp, which I didn't realize was, like I said, didn't realize what was happening for a lot of yesterday.
Crazy.
But, yeah, it's a huge win for them and really sets them up well because now they have something that Boise State didn't have last year or that I can think of. I don't think Boise State had a win over a P4 team.
You're correct.
So that's something South Florida has. Now they have an opportunity to do it again next week with Miami on the schedule. I assume that game will be in Miami.
It is on the CW network.
Fantastic. That will be one of the most watched games of the weekend. So, yeah, it's a huge win for them. And then they're like their big plays, 10 big plays, lot of like pushing the ball down the field. They had a 66-yard touchdown. Florida was not able to score a touchdown off of a big play. So I think that's in part to what you're talking about with the not letting DJ Lagway use his full physical abilities because he is one of the most gifted quarterbacks in college football, and they're really limiting a lot. It's kind of what we talked about with Bryce Underwood, where I don't understand how you look at a guy who is one of the most gifted athletes you might ever get to coach, and you say,
don't do that.
I think a check down or a screen is what you would be good at. This is not JJ McCarthy.
That's a stray.
I'm sorry, JJ McCarthy. You were the first physically not the most gifted quarterback I could think of. JJ McCarthy is not.
He doubles down.
Okay, anyway, we'll move on. I don't mean to be thrown straight to JJ McCarthy.
Who you got, JJ or Caleb Williams on Monday night?
I have JJ in fantasy, so I'm hoping for JJ.
Well, you're dogging your own fantasy QB.
That's actually
this is crazy.
No,
you're not ride or die.
No, I'm. We'll get into fantasy later. I have Justin Jefferson.
By definition, he's dogging himself because he drafted.
That's
JJ
true.
McCarthy.
But I drafted JJ McCarthy because he has Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson. That's why I drafted Justin Jefferson.
Okay, fair.
But I just don't get how you let such a gifted quarterback that's the game plan is to utilize him like that.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes for preseason for Florida on DJ Lagway. I'll just say it directly. Lagway is going to be a star. Throws well from any base, accurate, beautiful spiral, catchable ball, which is one of the big ones, pocket awareness, arm strength, touch. He has all of it. And they don't use it really whatsoever. It's more frustrating when you look across the field and the guy who South Florida has, who is super talented, they're using the heck out of him. Back-to-back games where Byron Brown leads the team in passing and rushing yards.
Yeah.
Leads them, and of course in passing attempts, but also in rushing carries. He is the star of the show. They're using him to win football games. And, you stare that in the face, and yet you still don't use what is obviously a better quarterback in DJ Lagway. You can't help but feel anything but frustration. Billy Napier is now 20-20 as a head coach at Florida. Of course, Dan Mullen was a worse head coach at Florida, but he was 31-9.
Sure.
So what the hell does he know? By the way, that's the same record as Urban Meyer through their first 40 games at Florida. Shout out Dan Mullen. It's crazy for Florida that this is now like we're on a roller coaster here.
It flipped in a week.
It
so
has
fast.
immediately become fire Billy Napier. We're right back into it. Sunbelt Billy.
I would say that's been tweeted for the first time since last September, and it's back in full force.
And now they look down. I'm gonna use this analogy again. They look down the barrel of at LSU, at Miami, host Texas, at A&M, host Mississippi State, Georgia, Florida game. Like it, and that doesn't even mention that they have to play Florida State, Tennessee, who never wins in the swamp anyway. And they also have to go to Ole Miss.
Not looking great for Sunbelt Billy and the boys.
It could go really badly. Yeah. I expect them to turn it around, though, to be honest. I thought, considering what they did last year when all hell had broken loose and they were really on the ropes and Napier kind of turns the season around, I expect them to respond in that kind of way.
Sure.
But this kind of loss knocks out what they wanted, which is to make the playoff.
Yeah.
They'd have to go undefeated, or they'd have to win the SEC, which they're still, of course, tied. I guess they're behind Ole Miss in the standings for the SEC, but that's like their only route now is to win the SEC or to at least be in the SEC championship. And I don't think that's possible, because if you're going to let Byron Brown do all those things to you, I can't even imagine what Arch Manning, with Nussmeier, with Carson Beck, Marcel Reed, Blake Shapen, Gunnar Stockton.
Zach Calzada is on that schedule.
Zach Calzada.
Watch out.
He just threw a straight at Gunnar Stockton. Like, how come?
He's my quarterback, too. That's my SEC champion, but still.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
It's just you can't feel anything but, like, I don't know.
You're not gonna
panic.
You're not gonna balance you walk the tightrope of that schedule if you can't walk across the 5-foot bridge that is USF.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to toss out too, we're talking about like old problems rearing their head, classic Sunbelt Billy issues, time management. USF misses their field goal, their 50-plus yarder with around 3 minutes left. So Florida's up 1, gets ball back, and goes 3 and out. They throw the ball twice, so they don't even like burn clock, force timeout.
Were
usage.
they both incomplete?
Yes, both incomplete. And give the ball right back, and then that's when USF marches down the field and kicks their field goal to win. Like, you had the game in your hands. It had not gone good all game. That was your moment to be like, we got a gift. They missed the field goal. It was a long field goal, but still, let's go put this game away, not giving the ball back, and you give it right back. So.
Do you think that's like an overconfidence thing where they're just like, we're just better than them. We're just going to throw it and get the first down and just ice the game?
I think it's a little in your head of, like, the play caller. Like, that's, I don't know, signifies as scared to me. Because you throw on first down on that drive as well. So it wasn't even like you ended up in like a second and long or third and really long. But I just think it's a play calling
Maybe they
thing.
overthought it. We're like, oh, they're going to be expecting run. We're going to pass it and get a big.
Maybe.
Yeah. Don't overthink it. Just chew the clock.
Yeah. And then also don't spit in a guy to give him 15 extra yards on the ensuing following possession.